This video can't shut it off. Shut it. Any goddamn
Oh. Dan, can you hear me? This is just a radio check, if you folks can hear me.
I can hear you, Andrew.
Yes, I hear you too.
They don't hear us.
Oh, that's wild. And I've got the closed captioning on too.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I asked Elizabeth, she said I was all set.
Okay. Well, I know there's a couple things I need to bring up, but it's all good. Apparently I'm at work, so okay. Well,
All right. Well, I think I'm gonna log off. I was, if they did ask me to say something, I was gonna say I read Ed's lips, said I did a great job and I deserve 20% raise. So I'm gonna log off.
all right, buddy.
All right. Good night. Good night, Dan.
We back on?
Yeah, back on.
All right. I will accept a motion for the recreation report.
Make a motion to accept the recreation report.
Can I have a second?
Second motion.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Right. Water and sewer. As the weather starts to warm up, the water and sewer department will be going around fixing leaks. They are already going around now collating locations. So once the ground thaws, they'll be able to start digging.
I'll make a motion to accept the water and sewer report as stated written.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Takes us to privilege of the floor. Sir?
I guess I'm up. Bill Kulikowski over on Miller Drive. Congratulations to the two appointees. I know I had Ed in school many years ago. and
Whoa.
I got him through with
Well, I
a
wanna get
circle
the dirt later.
65 in the right track.
You had me as well.
Oh, yeah, yes. What year did you get up?
90.
Oh,
I was around your daughter's, Carrie's age.
oh, Gary was 93, but anyway.
See, she probably wasn't a troublemaker.
Exactly.
No,
See, that's why he didn't remember.
No, that's why you always send the bad kid to the office, if they know where they are for paper and pencils. Ed was he lied to the office, but congratulations. I'm just here, I'm just here maybe as a point of interest. This could be for the board, or it could be for parks and streets and parks, whatever. Last year, and I know I can't officially speak for people that live on Miller Drive, but we were so glad to see the milling in maybe late July, and I think I was away, which was great, because when I came back, it was paved. However, as I walked the circle many times, I thought it might be worth looking at that it's breaking up and cracking quite a bit on the sides, not down the middle. That seems to be holding, but I know in front of 8 Miller and part of 9, no, that would be 10 Miller. It's for being less than a year old, maybe 10 months at the most. You know, the village spending good money, which is taxpayer good money. I would have thought that it would have held for few years. Also over on my side, the Aquabones at 3 and me at 5, again, breaking up, and I'm afraid that maybe over the next year or so, the pieces might start. But it was so nice when it was done, because we always, no matter what street you live on, you always think, when's it our turn? And it came up last year.
Every 10 years.
Wow, so it obviously it was great, but just a point of interest, if you might want to send somebody out from the streets and parks, just to take a look, and maybe I'm nuts. And maybe, I don't even know, a crack filling, which is probably the logical way to go, but,
We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm sure. It's recorded and I got it written down.
Yeah,
I'm sure our
just-
DPW chief, probably as we speak, is going, what the hell?
well,
He's probably
you
over
know
there
what?
now.
If you
No,
can
no,
take a
we'll look at it.
and it might not be anything at all.
It's,
But I just thought I'd mention it, because I was passing by, there was a meeting tonight.
Well, I'm glad you did.
yeah,
Yeah, anyway,
that's the
well,
right
thanks.
thing. Everybody should do that.
Well,
Sidewalks included. you
You
know,
gave good money to probably put that blacktop down, and like everything else, it's not cheap, I would have thought. it
We're
would-
here to be stewards of your money.
Thank you.
And so that's exactly correct.
Well, I appreciate you listening to me, and I'll let you get on. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
I'm embarrassed.
Thank you. I wanna see, I wanna hear the dirt.
Oh, circled 65 and driverette,
Oh,
just to get.
Now
them
we're
to-
telling tales.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't get them again. Hey, thanks, guys.
For posterity.
Brett, don't forget. Thank you, I got you.
Says the driver's ed.
And there's no
Yeah,
more, and there's no more secret.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
None of us expect any either.
Alright.
It's okay.
I think that takes care of privilege of the floor.
Yeah.
All right, now I know we've got questions, so let's move on to LoSAP. Ed had some that we've managed to discuss some, but not all, so we would have to. The first thing is this is kind of a sequential thing. We need to select an investment advisor. That's the number one. Now, RBC was the one that was recommended. They are large, they handle this for many, many fire companies, and they are located in Albany. My thought on this is, one, they're located in Albany, and two, because of their size, if anything was to happen at the state level or anything else, we would be with a large group of fire departments that would carry more weight, as opposed to going to one of the other ones, which are smaller sized. That is my thought. But open for discussion with everybody else now, well, except for you, Liz, because you haven't had a chance to look at it, but.
Okay.
That shouldn't stop you.
It doesn't usually, but for tonight.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Saying there aren't a whole lot of choices and our fire chief researched it pretty well, so I trust him, so yeah.
I agree, I was impressed by the materials and. Right, we wanna go with somebody who does this day in, day out, and they seem to.
Yeah, I thought there might be other people, but there aren't. So you really don't have a whole lot of choices.
Right.
But they're a good choice. So, yeah, I'm in.
The auditing, now that we've made a decision on the RBC, we will move forward with that. We will move forward with making sure we have the proper auditing in place. I believe we approved last time to do for an additional $395, the $395 that Penflex would do. Part of what they do is part of the auditing for the AUD portion, but it's not a full-scale audit, so it covers some things, but it doesn't cover everything, so we would still need to find an auditor. Whether or not we do it in-house or we hire out, that'll be the next step for us, and we have to get more information before we.
Let me ask another question. How often, I guess, does the village have to have an audit? I know the last time we did one was in Sarah out of Ithaca, and they never, and didn't tell me a squat really, it just basically copied our budget. They didn't find anything wrong. It was great, and the prior one was great. I'm not saying that they were bad, but I'm just saying, that was 9 years ago. So,
Well,
do
for,
we need to do one every 10 years, or what was it?
well, for LoSAP, we have to do every year,
I know that,
all right?
but
Now,
the question was, basically, if we have to do one for the village, why not make them do this at LoSAP as part of the audit? Maybe you get a better deal, because now it's a package. Just thinking. I don't.
we can look into that. Jay, do you have anything to add on that?
No, I had Penflex do an audit throughout the year as well for us, so we're pretty spot on. So I'm pretty confident in the way that we've been tracking things. So, but yeah, anything that you guys can do for audit, that's great.
So we'll look into that next. We'll have something for that on next meeting in the March. Okay. March options. Some of the other questions that I know Ed had is this a monthly or a lump sum? And what this is this is a lump sum. And I say this for this site, because I don't think you guys were involved in some of these, but they have to meet points. Good, they have to have a good year, all right, by meeting training, responding to calls. They earn, say, what is it, Jay, 50 or 60 points?
50 points.
50 points. And for everybody that has a good year earns 50 points, the village sets 750 aside in their name, which goes into the RBC. Once they retire, which we set 63.
Yep.
63, they get a lump sum of whatever's been put aside. Or it can be split into 2 halves. But that's it. This is a defined contribution, not a defined benefit.
They could roll it over to an IRA.
That's up to them, but
That's up to them, so
Yeah.
for tax purposes, it shouldn't hurt them if they do that.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be that big a deal.
Well, for our younger firefighters.
It could be,
It could be.
it's
Yeah.
significant, but it's not, it's
Now,
not gonna fund them.
for those firefighters that still earn 50 points a year and they are over 63 years old, it goes over to RBC and then RBC pays it out to them. So they get 700, essentially they get
Just a flow
700,
through.
they get $758 a year
Because they're already in the retirement.
because they're already over
Once
the
they get
retirement
50
age.
points.
Yeah. So-
Until they reach 40 years in the fire department, which it's going to be a while. Just because we just started up. So,
So, what the good thing is, Jay has already said that this has had positive impacts on our retention and recruitment.
That's good.
Mm,
That's good.
With a lot of other fire departments struggling, we are growing. So, all right. So that takes care of any, so I'll take a motion that we go with RBC, Royal Bank of Canada, for the LoSAP.
I'll make a motion that we go with RBC for LoSAP.
I'll second it.
I think we've had a discussion, but any further comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? None heard. Okay, we go with RBC, and the next step is to get the auditing options. Okay. New business, we've already appointed our new trustee, Liz Arnold, congratulations. We have the Durkee Park fee waiver. Retired nurses would like to have the rental fee waived for their annual picnic at Durkee Park, which they would like to have on Tuesday, July 23rd. You guys can.
I think we've been doing that for some time, yeah.
We do this, we've done this the past,
Hey, they take care of us.
so I will entertain a motion.
Make a motion that we approve the fee waiver for the retired nurses to use Durkee Park Pavilion on Tuesday, July 23rd, 2025 from 10 to 3.
Can I get a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next is, Dick, can you talk about the buyback?
Well, Maureen's more on that. This is just a normal thing the village does from time to time, so.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we accept the buyback, that's
I don't understand the buyback. What is
in other words, they bought a plot of, from the cemetery
Mhm.
and they moved to California or something, and they want to be buried out next to great grandma, so they want to sell the plot back, but but there's a, you know, a
Mhm.
penalty and that kind of stuff.
Alright.
And so we've been doing that for years.
This is nothing out of the ordinary.
No. Pretty normal.
Um,
Make a motion?
You can make it.
I did. All right, I make a motion, we accept the buyback.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Alright, so. We have had. Now, for the cemetery, I can go ahead and discuss this, right?
Yeah.
Alright, so, we went from having a cemetery sexton to splitting the job description between two of our cemetery workers. They would get a $2 each hourly, on top of that to cover for their additional time and work, with a 6-month review. We have had no complaints that I'm aware of, with their performance. And so what I would like to do is, instead of when we're doing payroll, having their base and then adding the $2 on top of it, and then when we did a 3% increase this year, you know, doing a 3% on the 16 and a 3% on the $2, just make it one and do the 3% off that, that would make it easier. And then if for some reason I do not anticipate seeing us getting a single sexton again, they seem to be doing the job. If something was to change, we can address it then.
Makes
So-
sense.
All right, so I will make the motion that we approve the Glenwood Cemetery pay of adding the $2 extra on top of their normal and just doing the 3% on top of that. Can I get a second?
Second.
All right.
But
I'm gonna
trying to
second
point
it.
Yeah.
Gotta get your time in.
Liz is on
You
the
gotta
board.
get your
Hey,
written
you know,
in.
cemetery.
She's on the scoreboard. So,
There we go.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, as you can see, here's the National Fallen Firefighters Memorial Weekend. We have one of our firefighters from 1981, Jay, is being added to the memorial this year. The fire department is asking for some additional monies to help offset the cost. We would pay for the hotel room and mileage, which would come out to about $548 all told.
I'm in. These guys run into fires, I run out. That's a small thing for honorable, obviously, we had a fallen firefighter. Hey, this is a great village, it's a good way to.
And the firefighter association, these are covering everything else with food and everything else, so,
That's very reasonable.
okay.
Also, this is an uncommon request. We pay very little for things such as this. The money that we spend on the fire department almost all goes, instead, it goes to, you know, their equipment and their vehicles and the station maintenance. They don't ask for this very often.
So I would like to make a motion that when I put that at $584. I'd make a motion that we authorize up to $584 to offset the room and travel expenses.
I'd like to amend that to make it $600. Just even it up, and they can donate it into a fund if they don't use it.
How about we go up to 600? And
That's
here-
what I meant.
And here's the thing, yeah, just because when they're doing the vouchers back, we have to account for the money,
Okay,
so,
If you have to take an alternate route to avoid traffic.
yes.
I'm not. Malin and Tim Maxon are headed down. Malin's father was actually the fire chief when the line of duty death happened back in 1981. So
Wow.
Malin's going to be the one that is going to be the caretaker for the family, walking around the grounds and doing the honoring, because Malin Senior is 93 and can't make the trip. So it's just huge. 1981 was a while ago, but he just got accepted into the National Fallen Firefighters stuff. So it's actually a big honor to go back this far, and I appreciate the board for their support.
So the motion is to reimburse up to $600 for the National Fallen Firefighters trip. Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So Jay, you're good.
I appreciate it.
Okay. next is we have so our EV Connect by the rec building,
It's falling apart.
yes, and on top
I
of,
use it big, well, I use it often.
and on top of falling apart, they no longer make parts for it. Oh, that,
Didn't know that.
and they are not servicing that anymore.
Oh.
So,
How old is that?
It's at
5 or
least
6
7
years.
years old. I think.
2017.
2017, so
Wow.
8 years old, well, not even, because we're just starting.
That's the fun of the EV technology. It's
So is there something in the state that might give us something that's, cause I'm gonna guess that a new one's gonna cost a hell of a lot more.
Well, here's the costs right here. And we are we've got a pedestal mounted. So we'll be looking at the bottom half.
And then we would continue to do this is a level 2 charger.
It would be the same as what we have right now.
I could throw a wrench in the works, but any discussion former mayor and I had with Lisa and Amanda from the Central Regional Planning Board. Obviously, there's a lot of grants for this technology. EV Connect have not had the best service over the years, sometimes good, sometimes not. So if the village wants to forego, but the problem with that is I don't know how long it will be. Will set upon proper company or actually get a little money back or, some other kind of incentives. I can't give you a timeline on that. So I don't know if you want to do a stopgap measure, work on it, or forego it. Obviously,
Seems like we should get something because we're bronze, climate smart award winner. I mean, do we get anything for being bronze or silver?
Bronze.
We're bronze. We should get something back. I mean,
Yeah.
why did we go through all that? I haven't seen any benefit to the village except ego, maybe.
We would add that into whatever grant we were writing.
Yeah.
No, we've been tapped to do this, do more stations, get incentives. I mean, I believe there's probably the National Grid has as well. There's also some others through NYSERDA. It's just a process, so gotta win and get
I'd like that
new
idea.
stations or change out stations. I cannot give you that.
Got another recommendation for discussion. Could you put something in our webpage that says, if you live in Homer, do you have an electric car? I mean, if there's only 2 people, you,
No, I will say.
I mean, how many
there's-
are there? If there's 100, that tells us maybe we need to get a better one. And if there's 4, maybe you don't need a better one because they already got one at home. But you gotta have one for the Center for the Arts and all that kind of stuff.
There is
So,
a
yeah, we
report.
gotta have one.
The state does a report of who owns electric vehicles.
Yeah,
So there is a report you can get. I'm in some.
that would
Facebook
help
group
in our grant
For
too.
Central New York, EV owners,
Yeah.
and some guy in the group has posted,
Alright.
cause I think at one point I was one of 19 people in the county that was.
So I think
In the county.
That was, but that was like 6 years ago, so I've
We
seen a
have-
lot more.
See if you can update that and put it on our webpage, because that should go into our grant.
Cause I will say that EV Connect is probably on the lower end now.
Because we need one for the
Of the-
center for when people come down.
Yeah,
So
it's always
I'm
used
for
those
it, I'm
people.
not against it, I just
Yeah.
wanna get, again, taxpayer money, get the.
Like Charge
bang
Point
for
would
the
probably
buck.
be one that is,
That's a lot of, that we've had a lot of talk.
yeah, so.
Look into it.
So why don't we,
What is the-
point you as point person on EV chargers?
I'm happy to be the person on EV chargers, cause
Personally, I don't like EV. I would recommend not going with them, but that's obviously your decision. It's just the one portable is working and one is not.
Both of them are working. For my particular car, only one side works for some reason, but I know both ports are currently working because cars have been charging.
You can access, they can't access, and they didn't think it was working. But
Yeah.
There 2 are still working.
But I think to your point about the technology being outdated, like
Sure.
one of them won't work on my car, but
Gotcha.
I've seen it work for others, so.
Gotcha.
But they are actively, like, there are cars parked there all the time. Like,
It's a good
24/7.
choice on pointing, or look at this.
Alright,
First
so
out of the bat, wow.
I can tell you,
What
yes,
I would
I
like-
know way too much about this. Yeah.
what I would like to do is, well, congratulations.
Yeah, I got my first project.
That's your first project, that we postpone any decision on the EV Connect charging. And have Liz do some research and
Yes,
get back to us,
okay,
so.
Dan, I might connect with you as well,
You got
just
it.
to see what you already researched.
Okay. Some of you may or may not know that the bus, First Transit is being replaced by Centro. Okay. Centro is a not-for-profit, and they start their service on March 31st. Right now, they're gonna keep their routes the same for now, but they will be looking to increase the routes and their frequency, but they're keeping the current route and frequency so they can collect data. So we probably won't see any changes for at least 6 months, and then it'll be incremental. Probably about a year, they'll have what they need to make all the changes, in order to keep refining. The routes, okay, save for now, maps information, 6 to 12 months, covered that. These buses are gonna be bright blue. Their fares are looking to be either $1 or $3. It's pay as you board, but there's no transfers, so. For some, if they were paying $1.50 to go to 2 places, it might be $2 now. Or if it was $1.50 before, which it is now, it might be cheaper for some, you know, because they're only paying $1. More information can be found at www.centro.org, or you can go to the Way to Go website. Their plan is to have 30 to 35 transit buses, so their buses are gonna be larger, but they're also gonna be low level and curb height. But that will also be as part of their learning process, what works best. The March 31st, which is the first day they start, is going to be Free Fare Day. I know that'll be on the news. So they are also looking for bus operators and mechanics. This looks to be, they met with myself and the town of, or the village of Marathon earlier this week, which is where I got this information. So it was great information. And I plan on attending the grand opening ceremony on Monday, March 31st at 9:50 in front of the Portland County Office Building.
Are they taking over the First Transit building in Portland?
They are still working on the details of that, as last I knew. All right, any questions that I may or may not be able to answer about Centro? Frankly, I'm kind of excited. All right, they were talking about how the routes are currently circular, and some employees that as they're trying to get to different places, they don't want to have to go the whole route just to get someplace. And so there may be some possibilities of between maybe the city and Homer of doing direct back and forth, which would be great for employees to have defined reliable times that they know that they can get on and get off back and forth. So we'll see. All right, well. Next up. I signed on as the mayor for the village of Homer for the urging the state leaders to increase municipal aid. AIM, for those that don't know, is the aid and incentives for municipalities. Last year, for 2024, the village of Homer got $29,315. Okay. With everything that's going on, really think that they can do more. And
It's not fairly distributed for one thing. The city of Cortland got over $2 million, 15,000 people. Village of Homer's got 3,500 people. Say the city is 5 times bigger than Homer, so 5 times 30, they should have only got 150,000. They got 2 million, we got 30,000. They're ripping us off.
so I added in the website where,
It's whining. I
yeah,
guess.
folks can go to find out. That's where I got it on the breakdown. of the information.
Is there a formula that they use that's public or?
I have.
It can't be,
Well, that was
it
what I,
can't be on people.
to your,
And miles per
Math.
road, I bet we got 21 miles of road in the village. So when our plow trucks go out to go run a plow, it's 21 miles, and that's why they wear out. You think you're within a mile square, but up back and forth and around, and it's 21 miles, so I mean, that AIM stuff is supposed to be, going for, building roads and infrastructure. We're way underfunded, versus the city, and we got just the same items that they have, streetlights, sidewalks, roads, blah, blah, blah. All right.
do you know, is this like a consistent number that Cortland has been getting, or did they get more because of?
They always get more.
I only looked at 2024, but I'm
Okay.
sure that on the website, we can go back.
Sure.
That's
Okay,
always
check it
been,
out.
so that's a bit about what we got over the years.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
Interesting ratio.
All right, so I just wanted to let you guys know that I signed on as one of the 600 to say that that needs to change. All right, our office personnel update. Well, obviously, we're now back to a full board. Liz here. We are down to some final selections for the account clerk. Dan is making phone calls on those. We are doing job interviews for the Newton Waterworks. We've had our first job interview last week. We have a potential candidate coming in tomorrow morning at, oh my God, it's early because that's when everybody's available. And we'll take it from there. After that, we will be looking at the treasurer position. And chief is still looking for candidates for the police department. So we've got 2 down and 3 to go.
it's constant, never ends.
Next, we have one proclamation.
April as Fair Housing Month in the Village. Whereas in accordance with Title VIII Fair Housing Policy and Civil Rights Act of 1968 to the Fair Housing Amendments Act of 1988. And whereas the month of April 2025 has been designated by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development's Office Fair Housing and Equal Opportunity as Fair Housing Month. Now therefore be it resolved that the Village Board of Village Homer hereby declares and claims April as Fair Housing Month in the village.
You got anything I have to sign on that, Dan?
Nope.
Okay.
Good idea.
Next up. Comments by the attorney, Fran.
I never have comments. Welcome.
All right, comments by board members. Ed?
All right, what happened Tuesday night last week with you and the city on taxes? I know you went to the meeting and you look healthy, so I don't see any wounds.
Well, actually, the next meeting is Thursday.
So how'd the last one go?
Wasn't one past one.
Oh, they canceled it.
Yeah.
Oh, bummer. All right, that's why you look good.
Yeah.
All right,
Sounds
I figured you were gonna get beat up a little bit.
I don't know, it's I'll be at the county sales tax discussion on this Thursday, 5 o'clock.
Just the standard stuff. I'm still excited about hopefully getting the IDA property. So we can start, getting a dog park and paddleball and not paddleball, maybe.
Pickleball.
Pickleball, handball, whatever, all those good things, good fishing, get, that's a nice piece of property. And we can use it for a lot of rec kind of stuff, so I'm excited about that. I'm hoping that, I'm just babbling now, you stop me. About the ribbon park that we get paid, because that money is absolutely necessary for our village, finances. They made us jump through hoops to turn in stuff, and then they said, okay, we're gonna take 6 months now. But they gave us 24 hours to turn stuff in, so I'm not very happy, but that's standard.
We'll cover grants on at the end of the month.
All right, so otherwise, I think the DPW did great keeping our roads, I did, hear of a lot of accidents with snow and stuff, so they did a great job, so. The firemen have been absolutely wonderful with all those accidents on Route 81, wow, and the village and everything. So anyhow, I'm very happy with our workforce and volunteers, so thank you.
Mr. Porter, just so you're not confused with the other Ed.
Yeah, that's right.
We both have the same haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Ed, see what you get to look forward to it about that.
Senility.
Yeah.
Not too old to be president.
I noticed, and I have noticed over the past couple of weeks as I've driven by, maybe even more because of snow melting. Circus House is in terrible disrepair and the windows out in the hoop loft now, which birds are flying in and out of, which is probably a doom loop for that building if it's not covered. And I know it's one of the only buildings in our village. It's on historic, the federal historic register. Is that right?
No, we have others,
Oh, we do have others on the federal one?
but it's on the 5, I think it's on the 8 for 8 or 5 for
Okay, there you
5
go.
watching.
Yeah, okay, well, anyway, I know, can't make somebody fix the building. But,
Yeah, you can.
well,
If the codes are bad enough, you can make
Yeah.
the codes people start finding them. But supposedly, that hasn't got to that level for Nora Codes guy,
yeah,
but you're right. So it's too bad. It's a great spot. That would be a perfect spot for the city and Homer to take that and turn it into a welcome center.
it's also, it's kind of like where people come into the village, it's one of the first things they see when, I mean, I know it's in the village a little ways, but
Right by the exit.
Yeah.
Perfect.
that was just my only comment.
You know, you're on, spot on.
Liz?
I don't have a comment yet, other than I'm happy to be here.
That's comment enough.
I can go from there.
Elizabeth?
Thank you, nothing tonight.
All right, what I have is, all right, so we're still closing out the 2024-2025 budget. There is a town board meeting tomorrow night at 6:30. Now, usually I attend those, because we work closely together, but I will not be available. So if anybody is interested, all right, I find sometimes that, they will bring up something that they're working on that I go, shoot, we should probably look at that ourselves. Other times it's just good to know what's going on, so it's not mandatory, but I will throw that out that if anybody wants to attend, it's usually good. And then the last thing is I will be at the county sales tax discussion on Thursday. I've seen some preliminary things, but they're preliminary, so I look forward to hearing what everybody has to say. Phil, now that Phil can hear us,
Yes, can you hear me?
yep. We had a resident on privilege of the floor to say that he has some concerns about Miller Drive, that the sides are cracking specifically around 8 and 10 and 3 and 5.
Okay, yeah, those corners are pretty sharp. We're probably gonna end up putting a little more dirt back in there. And it doesn't help the garbage trucks and stuff. Then bigger trucks go around the corner, they catch it.
Okay. If,
So, yeah, I'll take a look at it tomorrow.
all right, I appreciate it. Thanks, Bill.
Yep.
All right, questions from the media? Looks like Kevin Smith ditched us. All right, I won't take it personally. I'll see somebody there tomorrow. All right. We have nothing for executive session, so I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 6:55.